Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
Shaman.
And Yolanda Harper with The Connected Relationship.
That's it.
We have spent the past 10 years helping couples connect more deeply in their relationship. And that is the premise of The Connected Relationship.
Right.
We want you and your partner to enjoy being a couple again. Like, it gets so, stuck in the muck and the mire of life.
Life hits so hard sometimes, you know, it's so heavy, it's so busy. And you got to take those moments to kind of remind yourself, oh, we're in this together, we're a team, we're supposed to be enjoying this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a daily check-in for you, I'm sure, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm with this guy, he's terrible.
No.
But anyway.
No. So we have spent, we've been doing a series since the beginning of the year.
Right.
How to bring back some dream and some planning,
and goals, visioning, kind of how do you kind of take some steps towards some of the things you want to implement in your relationship and your life?
Yeah. Right? So if you haven't seen those Facebook Lives, then check them out. We talked about creating a vision board with your couples goals.
Right.
We talked about doing a perfect day exercise.
Which is like one of my favorites.
Right? Big, powerful, very simple, but very powerful.
Right. Well, that's the key. All of these are very simple.
Right, yeah. A little vulnerable though, right?
They are.
Yeah. I mean, dreaming innately, I think,
right,
is a vulnerable process.
And then we talked about the four quadrant exercise.
We did.
Four quadrant.
We did.
The 4 quadrant exercise.
Yeah.
Where you break things down into goals like 5 years, 1 year, quarter, month.
And to have actionable steps.
Right. Chunk it down.
Yeah. But guess what?
What?
I mean, we're individuals in a relationship, right? So our couples goals in our family, kind of broader goals, are really important, but our goals individually are important too.
Right.
And this week is kind of a special week because 3 years ago, you cheered me on.
Right.
As I gave a TED Talk.
Right.
And that was, I mean, still just saying that is kind of
crazy,
mind-blowing.
Right.
Mind-blowing. But that was like a big deal for me. And you were there the whole time cheering me on. And through our relationship,
sometimes dragging you kicking and screaming.
Pretty much dragging me kicking and screaming is how it started. But it's okay.
It's all good. It's all good. I would like to say yes, I did cheer you on.
You absolutely. I mean, I definitely would not have done that without you.
Right.
In our relationship, I mean, we've been together for 30 years now, 30 plus years.
Met her last week.
So there've been a lot of things that we've cheered each other on, education and professional, goals and
building a stupid van.
No, it's not a stupid van. You built out a camper van, which is pretty amazing.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Right.
I like it too. So I think those are just as important to our own personal dreams and aspirations.
Right. But cheering each other on.
Yeah.
Right. It's really important to celebrate each other's goals and visions, especially when they're realized. Wow, you did that thing, and that's amazing.
Right.
And we should take a moment and just recognize that.
Well, so what I will say is on the front side of that when you have that little glimmer of there's this thing that I think I might want to do.
Right, and it's really scary to tell someone that.
Right? It's vulnerable. Right? But then as you do that, as you share that with your partner, and your partner's like, tell me more about that, you know?
Right.
And it's like that little spark, that little ember is fanned.
Right.
And it grows and it grows. And I think it's important to recognize, we're such different people. We've got such different personalities. And some of the things that are your spark and your ember are different than I would have even dreamed.
Imagined, right? Like, you want to what?
But one, it helps me to know you better.
Right.
And I don't have to understand the whole thing.
Right. I think that's a big one. You don't have to understand it. You don't even have to like justify it or reconcile with it. You just need to support your partner in it.
I mean, I did two breast cancer 3 days. I walked 60 miles. You were like, I don't get it, but okay.
Right.
You told me about buying this van to convert, and I was like, I
don't get it.
okay.
Right.
I don't necessarily see that big picture,
Right.
but it was really cool to kind of be there with you and see it come together.
It is. And I think that's the cool thing, even if you have differences of interest, differences of, hobbies or whatever, as you're kind of visioning things out and putting goals in place to kind of live out your dreams. Because if we're not at least trying to do that, what's the point? It's really cool to support your partner when they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
It's really, and to be supported when you're doing something that your partner has no interest in doing, but yet they're like, okay, let's do whatever that looks like.
Yeah. How can I support you in
Right.
that? Yeah. And so it creates a space for you to have that conversation with your partner. Like, tell me more about why this is like a dream of yours. Tell me more
Why is
about
this a
why
thing
this
for you? Right.
interests you, right? And as you go through it, like, tell me how I can support you. What's next? What's the next step?
It's one of those moments where you learn and you become more deeply connected with your partner.
Right.
You learn about your partner. Oh, wow, I never saw this in you. I never...
Well, and sometimes they don't even see it in themselves until it, like, is
Right.
there. I never would have done a TED Talk.
Right.
So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to have a conversation with your partner. And honestly, like the dream thing, we don't really do a lot of it.
No, and it's really sad because I think we stamp a lot of that out, like on purpose. Like, there's no time to dream. You got to work.
Right.
You got to do this. You got to do that. You got
Gotta
to
be
make these
productive.
positions and be productive and advance so far in life and all these things you got to do. But really, it stamps out all that
It does.
vision and dreaming and goals and ideas and creativity. And really, the opposite is what makes relationships better.
Right.
And what's important to you? Is it the relationship, or is it, some other career thing or whatever it is? You know, and I'm not dogging either thing. You just have to be clear on what is the important thing to you.
Right. Well, and sometimes the big dreams are in careers and in
Right.
those kind of things, and that's good too.
Right. You just got to kind of understand where it fits in relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
So, touch base with your partner. See what's kind of bubbling up inside of them as a dream.
Right. And then see where you can kind of cheer them on in that and support them and celebrate them in it, because it might blow your mind how it draws you together.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Have a great week.